5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey, YouTubers and friends, stick around for this short bit with Chris Ralph of International California Mining Journal and much more. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Tuesday Night Hangout Live. It's Tuesday Night Hangout Live. It's Tuesday Night Hangout Live. It's Tuesday Night Hangout Live with your hosts, Ann Marvin, ToledoJess, and Dano. Tuesday Night Hangout Live is a Flash and Young Man production.
All right, everybody out there. Sorry that we were not able to go live tonight. Right, Dano, Jesse?
Yep, sucks.
We tried.
Chris?
We
We
tried.
tried. I tried to
Give it
go
our best
live.
shot.
3 times I tried to go live. But
It seemed to be okay out on the West Coast, but not this way.
yeah, India is fine everywhere but the Northeast. We've had some word that other YouTubers in the treasure hunting community have also been trying to go live, and a couple other communities out there, and they've been unsuccessful. Apparently, the Northeast is out of commission right now, their live servers. But we have the pleasure of having Chris Ralph with us. He's a geologist, mining engineer. Correct me if I'm wrong on anything, Chris. Also, associate editor at the International California Mining Journal out of Aptos, California. It's a good magazine. I got mine right over there. And also a fellow YouTuber who puts out great content. If you want to learn, you can learn a lot by this gentleman. No, he's not Jeff Williams, so it isn't no Sunny Jim and Slim, but he's packed full of good information and puts out very good content. How are you doing tonight, Chris?
Hey, I am doing great.
Excellent. I'm glad you're here with us. Again, I'm sorry about the Murphy attack on YouTube's Northeast servers, but hey, it is what it is, right?
Maybe they're making them better.
Oh,
Well, we think it's a Murphy attack. It might be something else. Who knows?
that could be. Jesse's on a
Could be
conspiracy theory thing. Should have heard him before we started recording this little tidbit. It's all Vox's fault, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, hey, you never know. Maybe they're messing with the treasure hunting community because somebody said something. I don't know. We're all friends with somebody that said something. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe prospectors and treasure hunters are now an organized hate group, and
Oh,
they're what do they call that? Shadow banning us, huh?
mm, as long as they don't box us.
Really, really. Oh, but we've already talked with Chris, and we made another date for August 27th.
Right.
So until then, tell us, Chris, about. I've been seeing a lot of activity from your YouTube channel the past few months now.
Yeah, I did a couple of videos, I guess like 2 years ago. I did 3 videos, kind of pretty close together. And I kept telling myself, yeah, you're going to do some more. And you know how it is. Things come up, you get busy. And so it just kind of sat for several years, the first 3 videos that I did. And I finally told myself, I really need to get in there and dig in and start doing some stuff. I had some plans and actually talked to the guy there from American Mining Rights, and he was telling me, we ought to record some of your lectures. And I thought, I ought to record some of my lectures. So I took some of the lectures that I did for GPAA at some of their shows and turned those into YouTube things. And then I started doing stuff out in the field, and I got a whole bunch of ideas, but I just think it's a good way to reach out and connect with people.
So are you going to be involved with Amra's walk?
No, I'm not going to be involved with that. I got other things I got to take care of, but I think it's a great idea. I'm glad to see they're doing stuff like that.
Right. Well, at least if we can all get the word out, get enough people to walk with them, maybe they'll start paying a little bit more attention to us.
I hope so. I'll tell you though that I'm kind of a pessimist when it comes to these sorts of things. And I just look at California. I grew up in Southern California, and California has just gone one direction since
Right.
The way of the dodo bird.
Yeah. Well, here, the one thing that I know, because I'm really old, persistence does pay off. Being persistent in something and working at, regardless of how long it takes and how sometimes it doesn't feel like you get anywhere. You just gotta persist, and it will happen.
Yeah, no, you got to hang in there. You can't just give up.
Right.
Even if you have your doubts, you can't give up.
Right.
But also a part of not giving up, is actually, morphing and changing and becoming something else. I used to spend a lot of time in my summers dredging in California, and can't do that anymore. So now I'm out doing metal detecting and sniping and dry washing, and so I'm still getting some good gold. It just my dredge is continuing to sit in my garage, and I keep telling myself, you ought to sell that thing.
Sell it, or jump into the fight with 2 feet.
Yep.
It's I mean, it's the same thing as how much gold do you want to find? When you go out prospecting, are you just going out to have fun? Are you going out to make it rich? Are you trying to make a living? All those things. That's you gotta think about that and go, is this the fight I really want to fight, or am I just playing around?
No, I support what the American Mining Rights is doing, and I supported PLP before them. So
right, PLP is another.
Yep. And Scott at the magazine, our magazine, does a lot to support these groups, to get the word out and help them in fundraising, and it's an important effort. It really is.
Right. Even the GPAA and all the local clubs from the different states.
Yep.
need to be involved also, you know.
I
And,
agree.
and again, not just prospecting and treasure hunting. You're talking about people that like to hike, people that like to fish. These people need to get involved and be brought into this fight, you know, because eventually it's going to affect them too.
Yeah, no, I've seen some stuff that you know, fishermen and hunters and that sort of thing. I had a brother-in-law who was down in the desert in California, and a BLM guy came up to him and said he couldn't shoot there because he was littering lead all over the place, and that was some violation of their.
Hey, well, pretty soon, you know, well, they've already changed some of the fishing laws about that. You can't use lead sinkers anymore. You got to use steel.
Yep.
You know, so now we're putting too much steel in this, so you can't use any sinkers. Well, you might as well not even fish. You know.
Well,
That's what they
they'll want you to
I know
use
exactly.
rocks.
That's exactly what they want. They don't want anybody out there using.
Well, you know what's funny is the fishermen and other groups, they're being useful idiots for that side
Right.
because they join the fight. And like some of the four-wheeler groups up in Washington and stuff, when they started to go to them, they came to some of the prospecting groups and says, "Hey, we need help." And they were like, "We told you this a decade ago, and you were telling us to bug off. Now
Right.
you want our help?" You know, it's
There's still good gold out there, though. That's, I think, the bottom
that's
line.
right.
There's still good stuff to be found, and if you get out there and put in the work and the effort, there's still good stuff.
Yeah, as long as we can get to it, right, Chris?
Yep, yep.
Hopefully that one we'll be able to do that for a very long time. And like you said, there is good gold yet to be found out there, and it's all over, dude. All these
Just gotta be able to get to it.
That's right.
So I mean, you can say everything has a silver lining. Now that you can't dredge anymore, you found other ways to prospect.
Yep.
Which is cool.
Yeah,
You know?
just like us crevicing when I was out there. We just dug in crevices all day.
Right.
Oh yeah, just
Yeah,
because.
no, I do that. You know, go out sniping both above the water line and below.
Yep. I met a fella out there. They call him Adam the Sniper. He does that. He puts on a wetsuit, snorkel, and a mask, and snipes the rivers. Does pretty stinking good at it too, for what he showed us. I was surprised.
My dad knew a guy that did sniping. Jeez, when I was a little kid, I wish I wasn't so much into surfing and going down to Newport and Huntington. I cared less about prospecting and stuff. So it was summertime, it was surf, 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 even wintertime, or going up to Big Bear or Wrightwood to go skiing. But geez, he would talk about him. Uh, my I have family. My Uncle Frank and Uncle Dewey had a claim. They're from Stockland, I believe it is. Geez, I'm forgetting where all my family's from. Fresno, and they had a claim up there. I wish I knew that back then. And I had family that lived up on 80 in Twain Hart. Right now, my foster brother, Dano just saw him when he was out in California, lives up in Boehner. So that's right near Joey's place there in Oroville, if I'm not mistaken, just a little southeast of it. And those Joey produced those videos that you're in with him, right?
Yeah, no, I've done a number of videos with Joe, and he's talking about doing some more one of these days. but he's a busy guy, and we just have to find some time where we're all free to get together.
Right. Who's your cameraman? Is it just you yourself? And
Oh, when I go out and do my YouTube videos,
yeah.
yeah, my cameraman is a tripod.
That's when I'm not with these two, that's my cameraman. Good old
And you don't have to
tripod.
beat them.
Don't have to feed
It's a
them or
tripod that
nothing.
I've had for 40 years.
Hey, if it works, it works.
It works. The camera that I use is a Canon SLR. That the new SLRs have video mode. And
Right.
I just put it in video mode, and it has a socket for a microphone, and so I just trail a cable back over to the camera and turn it on. And
Yeah, I noticed in your last video you were using a mic.
I have a handheld mic that I can use, but I also have a lapel type.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting a DSLR sooner or later. I have like 3 GoPros. That's one thing I forgot too, Dano. I forgot my GoPro sessions.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm
but
gonna leave
I
video
have
on.
3 GoPros and a Canon camcorder and a Sony camcorder.
I'm gonna leave the video on it. You can erase it when you get it, because some of it's your brother's. I figured you'd like to see it.
Okay, that'd be cool. Thanks, Dano.
Plus my GoPro and my phone, and
I got a GoPro and I got a phone, so if we're all together, we got tons of footage.
Right.
Usually, if I'm with Ed,
sitting around in a tin waiting to be edited.
That's right. Editing. That's one thing I love about live broadcasting. There's no editing, Chris.
I got a software that I like. It's called NCH, and it's a video editing software, and it's pretty easy to use. I haven't had too many problems with it.
Yeah, I've checked out NCH. I use a program called Filmora. Filmora 9. And it's pretty good. I'm able to do a bit with it, and I'm learning. I was using another software with my old tower, but I bought a new tower and stuff. So this tower I bought specifically for live. It has a lot of RAM and a great graphics card, but it allows me to edit a lot smoother, or my workflow in editing goes a lot smoother in it. Then I have my laptop I use too, which is a pretty good laptop for how old it is.
YouTube editor used to be beautiful till they got rid of it.
I started using that beta.
That I think you have to upload a whole video first. I never play with that editor in beta. But hey, it's always evolving, Danos.
Yeah, but the old one was so nice. It was so easy to work with.
Because you already knew it. The problem is you got to learn something new again.
That's
Well,
right.
with the newer ones, there's so much more you got to do than the YouTube editor. The old YouTube editor, everything was pretty much right there. With this Filmora I'm using like Ed, it's so hard to get things where you want it. At least it is for me, because I haven't learned it real good yet.
It will come easier, Dano. What's your what? I was looking at your article, Chris, a little. Oh, what was it? Where is it? How long does it take to find and recover an ounce of gold? You seriously get asked that a lot?
I get asked stuff like that, and I get asked questions, or I get people telling me, usually like they're like real inexperienced people, and say stuff like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna get 3 ounces a week, and I'm going to go out and do this and then. And it's like these are people who've never found gold before in their life, and they've already figured out that they can make 20,000 a month.
Yeah, we're following a group called the Greenhorns.
Yeah.
They're a group of guys that are just like that.
Yeah,
No experience whatsoever, and they're up in Alaska for what, 2 months?
yeah, 2 to
Or
3
2
months.
maybe 3.
But from
they're
what
gonna
I
strike it
see,
rich.
looks like they're doing all right, but a lot of stuff are happening that they wasn't expecting.
Right.
And the one thing we tried warning about the first time they were on our show, Jesse invited them on. We had them on. They were a good group of guys, but we warned them about how gold can change people. You
That's
more
for
or
sure.
less see people's true colors when it comes to gold. And we suggested them all watch Sierra Madre. And they were like, oh no, we're tight, and they're all military.
All brothers in arms. They're all
Yeah.
ex-military, all but they didn't even make it. They didn't even make it close to leaving before it broke up. Didn't even get the trip all totally figured out before it was done. So half of one way, the other half went another.
Yeah, gold has a way of doing that. I've heard a lot of stories over the years, and the more you find, the more it has a way of doing that to people.
Sure.
So you find a little bit, well, maybe most people won't worry about it too much. You find something significant, and then it makes a difference.
You find some enough to make you worry,
right?
Then that's where the problems come in.
But I've seen people have a problem like that. I've seen people get a little salty about just a little bit of fly poop.
Right. That's true too.
I had one of the best stories I've ever had about that. Was a guy, he went out metal detecting out in the desert of Southern California, and he got onto a hot spot, and he showed me one of the pieces that he took out of there with his metal detector. He dug it at 2 feet deep, and the thing had 23 ounces of gold into one piece.
Right.
And he had taken a bunch of other stuff, and anyway, but it was unclaimed, right? And he showed his buddy that was with him, and his buddy got some gold too. And they were both really happy about it. A couple weeks later, they were fixing to go out there again, and the buddy said, "Oh, by the way, I claimed that area, and stay the hell off."
Oh yeah.
Oh.
And it was the guy that he kicked off that had actually found it.
Oh man.
But stuff like that happens.
Yes, it does.
Greed, it's a terrible thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Well, I think we should call it, and then we'll get back at it nice and heavy next time you're on.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that sounds great. I'm sorry that things didn't work out.
Oh, you have no reason to be sorry, Chris.
Right.
I'm sorry. I appreciate you taking your time on your schedule to join us tonight. And on behalf of YouTube, I'm sorry for their tech issue.
Yeah, no, I don't mean sorry like I'm it's my fault. It's not my fault.
Well,
but
yeah.
it's too bad that things worked out this way.
Right,
Yeah,
right, right.
And that's the beauty of live.
Yeah.
Well, we'll do it again in a couple months.
Yep.
Oh,
sounds good.
definitely. Thank you very much, Chris. ToledoJess, Dana, thank you. Everybody, thank you who was in the live chat before the show. And
thanks for sticking around talking while we were recording this.
really,
absolutely.
chat room still going on.
Yeah, it's still
Yeah,
we
our chat room's still happening out here.
we really appreciate all of you, our Flash fam, and hopefully we won't have this issue next week. But be sure to catch Chris on the 27th of August. He'll be back with us again. So until then, may you always have a flash in your pan.
And you know what he's gonna say next.
That's right, Jesse. Maybe one day too, we'll meet you on the river. Good night, y'all.
Still recording?
Mm-hmm.